Welcome back to our channel, everyone. Grab your favorite mug of coffee tea, or maybe something a lot stronger, because today we are diving deep into the absolute madness that just unfolded on General Hospital. We have so much to unpack, so much drama to analyze, and honestly, a whole lot of venting to do about our favorite Port Charles residents. Settle in, get comfortable, and let's get right into this incredible episode. I cannot believe they just did that. I mean, I am sitting here staring at my screen. My jaw is literally on the floor, and I am just vibrating with absolute rage and confusion. I'm sorry. But what in the actual world is Carly thinking? You guys know I have been watching this show religiously since 2015. I've defended Carly through some of her most unhinged, chaotic, totally irrational decisions. I rode the train when she was doing the absolute most to protect her family, but this is the worst thing they have ever done to the Carly and Jason dynamic. I am officially off the defense squad. I am done. Because let's just back up for a second and look at the sheer unadulterated audacity of this woman. She walks into a maximum security WSB prison, a cold, miserable, heavily guarded facility where Jason is currently locked up, stripped of his freedom, his life, his son Danny, and she goes there for what? For comfort. She goes to the man who is literally rotting in a cell to seek emotional support for herself. And then while he is sitting there in his prison jumpsuit, looking like he hasn't slept in weeks, she drops the biggest, most radioactive bomb in the history of Port Charles. I'm pregnant. And not just pregnant by Valentin Cassadine. Valentin Cassadine. I screamed at my television. I literally woke up my entire house. How do you even form the words to tell Jason that you are carrying the spawn of a Cassadine? Wait, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me just process the scene, because the acting was incredible, even if the storyline makes me want to pull my hair out. The way the director framed them with the glass partition between them, it was like this physical manifestation of the massive wedge that Carly just drove into their relationship. Steve Burton's micro expressions deserve an Emmy right now. Jason is a guy who doesn't show emotion. We all know about his traumatic brain injury, how it fundamentally altered his personality, how it made him stoic and almost robotic when it comes to processing trauma. But in that moment, you could actually see his heart shatter. You could see the exact second his soul just left his body. Because Jason is in that prison for her family, let's not forget the context here, people. Jason did not shoot Ross Cullum on Pier 55. We know that. Britt knows that. Cassius knows that. Rocco shot Cullum. Rocco Falconeri Lulu's kid, Dante's kid, Carly's nephew by association, or whatever you want to call it. Rocco pulled the trigger to save Jason and Britt, and Jason being the ultimate tragic hero. The guy who always throws himself on the grenade took the fall. He gave up his freedom. He left Danny behind. Danny, who is currently spiraling and trying to join Sonny's mob just to get his dad back, which is a whole other tragedy, so that Rocco wouldn't have to face the wrath of the WSB or Ross Cullum. Jason sacrificed everything, and Carly repays him by sneaking a fugitive into her attic, carrying on a passionate, reckless affair, and getting knocked up by a man Jason considers one of the biggest threats to their existence. I mean, am I the only one who feels like this is a massive betrayal? I know some people are loving this whole Carval chemistry thing. I see the tweets, I see the forum posts saying, oh, Valentin is so charming, he really loves her. It's so romantic how he's hiding in her attic, but personally I think it's disgusting. Valentin is a Cassadine. He is a master manipulator. He has lied, schemed, and destroyed lives. And Carly, who usually has this razor-sharp radar for BS, has just completely fallen for it. Or maybe she hasn't. Maybe she just loves the danger. Sometimes I think Carly is just addicted to the chaos. And because Sonny is off dealing with his own mess and Jason is locked up, she just had to find the nearest toxic man to fill the void. But no, actually, I don't get it at all. Because this isn't just about her love life anymore. This is about a child with Cassadine blood. Let's talk about Jason's reaction to the baby news, because he wasn't just hurt, he was terrified. And Jason doesn't get terrified, but he knows exactly what this means. He immediately realized that this unborn child is going to be a walking target. Do we honestly think Jen Sidwell is just going to let a Cassadine baby exist in peace? Sidwell is completely unhinged right now. He's running around Port Charles blaming Sonny for Marco Rios' death. He's got Ezra Boyle doing his dirty work. He's terrorizing Laura Collins, and he is ruthless. Sidwell thrives on leverage. A baby with ties to Valentin, Carly, Sonny, and Jason. That is the ultimate leverage. And then there is Ross Cullum. Cullum is sitting in his hospital bed at GH, recovering from the gunshot wound that Rocco gave him, and he is demanding answers. He knows Jason didn't shoot him. He is putting out feelers. He is pressuring Britt Westbourne, holding her Huntington's medication hostage to force her to finish Caesar Faison's cold fusion project. Cullum is a monster. If Cullum finds out that Carly is carrying Valentin's child, he will absolutely use that baby to get whatever he wants from the WSB, from Valentin, from anyone. Jason is sitting in that cell completely powerless. For the first time in his life, he cannot protect Carly. He cannot protect this baby. And the fact that Carly put herself in this position, knowing the enemies they have, knowing that Jack Brennan is also breathing down her neck. Oh my gosh, wait, I haven't even mentioned Jack Brennan. Okay, back to the point, but we have to touch on Brennan. Carly was literally sleeping with Brennan while hiding Valentin in her attic. She was playing this incredibly dangerous game of espionage and seduction, thinking she was the smartest person in the room. And now Brennan has caught her with Valentin. Brennan is unleashing his wrath. So Carly has Brennan coming for her, Sidwell lurking in the shadows, Cullum out for blood, and now she brings a Cassadine pregnancy into the mix. It is sheer, unadulterated madness. And Jason has to just sit there and listen to her cry about it. Oh, Jason, I'm so torn. I have this guilty love for Valentin, but I want to be loyal to you. Give me a break, Carly. You cannot have both. You cannot pledge loyalty to Jason and then climb into bed with a Cassadine. It does not work that way. Remember when they tried this kind of storyline with Franco, when Carly got involved with Franco? The man who tormented Jason and Zambia didn't work then either. It caused a massive rift. But this feels so much worse. Because back then, Jason wasn't sitting in a federal prison taking the rap for a teenager while Carly played house. The absolute heartbreak on Jason's face when he realized that the woman he has literally killed for, died for, and given up his own happiness for has formed a flesh and blood alliance with his enemy. He looked at her like he didn't even know who she was anymore. And honestly, I don't know who she is anymore either. The Carly I knew, the Carly from 2015, who would burn the world down to protect her family, would never have let Valentin Cassadine get close enough to risk Jason's safety. So now she is standing at this impossible crossroads. She has to make a choice. Is she going to protect this guilty, toxic, addict romance love she has for Valentin? Or is she going to maintain her absolute unwavering loyalty to Jason? Because, let me tell you something, she can't have both. The bond between Carly and Jason has always been the strongest foundation in Port Charles. They have survived mob wars, kidnappings, fake deaths, brain damage, and marriages to other people. But a Cassadine baby. A baby that forces Jason to constantly look over his shoulder at Valentin. I genuinely think this is the breaking point. I think the relationship is on the verge of completely shattering forever. And what happens when the rest of the town finds out what is Sonny going to do? Sonny is already dealing with Ethan Lovett coming back to town and offering to wipe Sidwell off the map. Sonny is juggling Justine Turner, Rick Lansing's paranoia, and the fact that Danny is trying to act like a mini mobster. When Sonny finds out Carly is pregnant with Valentin's kid, he's going to lose his mind. And poor Danny just wants his dad back. Danny is out here recklessly driving Charlotte Cassadine's car, getting into massive fiery crashes on Route 91 with Jordan and Curtis. All because he is acting out from the grief of losing Jason to the WSB. How is Danny going to feel when he finds out that while his dad is in prison, Carly is starting a new family with Charlotte's fugitive father? The psychological damage this is going to do to the kids is astronomical. I am so frustrated. I love this show, I really do. I wouldn't be typing a literal novel at 3 a.m. if I didn't care. But sometimes the writers just push the characters into these corners that feel so incredibly toxic. I want to root for Carly. I want her to be happy. But not like this. Not at the expense of Jason's sanity and safety. Jason's fear is so valid. A Cassadine child is a magnet for danger. We have seen it with Spencer. We have seen it with Charlotte. We have seen it with Nicholas. The Cassadine name carries a curse in Port Charles. And now Carly is bringing that curse directly into the Corinthos Morgan orbit. She has essentially painted a giant bullseye on her own back and on the back of this unborn baby. If Jen Sidwell decides that he wants to hurt Sunny, what better way than to target the mother of Sunny's children and her new Cassadine baby? If Ross Cullum wants to force Valentin out of hiding, what better way than to threaten the woman carrying his child? Carly thinks she is in a tragic romance, but she is actually in the middle of a war zone, and she just handed the enemy the nuclear launch codes. And speaking of blowing up spectacularly, can we just take a moment to look at the absolute state of Carly's life right now, outside of this prison visit, because the chaos doesn't stop at the WSB facility doors. While Carly is busy playing out this Shakespearean tragedy with Valentin and Jason, the rest of her world is literally catching on fire. I mean, look at what just happened on Route 91. We had that massive, terrifying car crash involving Jordan and Curtis, and who else was involved? Danny and Charlotte. Danny Jason's son is out here joyriding with Valentin's daughter, Charlotte, and it ended in a fiery disaster. Carly had to swoop in and aggressively cover up Danny and Charlotte's involvement in that crash. She is running around town hiding damaged cars, lying to the cops, trying to keep Danny out of trouble, all while hiding Valentin in her attic. The sheer level of stress this woman operates under is not normal. It is pathological. She is addicted to the adrenaline of the cover-up. And how is Jocelyn going to react to this pregnancy news? Oh my gosh, Jocelyn. Jocelyn is already running around Port Charles playing junior WSB agent. She's investigating Ross Cullum, and she's pumping Cassius, who she thinks is Nathan, for information about Cesar Faison. And she is getting way too close to the truth. Jocelyn already suspects something is up with Valentin and Carly. When Jocelyn finds out that her mother is pregnant with Valentin's baby Jocelyn, who hates liars and hypocrites, the fallout in the Spencer Jacks household is going to be apocalyptic. Jocelyn is going to absolutely lose her mind, and frankly, I will be grabbing my popcorn for that screaming match, because Jocelyn is basically Carly too, and seeing them clash over a Cassadine is going to be epic television. But let's bring it back to Jason, because my heart just bleeds for this man. I need us to really, truly understand the weight of Jason's history with the Cassadine family. This isn't just, oh, I don't like your new boyfriend. This is blood feud territory. Remember Helena Cassadine. Remember the absolute hell she put Jason, Sam, and everyone else through. The mind control, the kidnappings. The torture Jason has spent decades protecting the people he loves from the toxic, manipulative reach of the Cassadine family. He knows how they operate. He knows that Cassadines view children as property, as heirs to their twisted legacy, as pawns on a chessboard. So when Carly tells him she is carrying Valentin's child, Jason isn't just seeing Valentin, he is seeing the entire dark history of that family threatening to swallow Carly whole.